Bleed or no bleed? This question comes up quite a bit. I did make a video on this using Canva. I'll leave a card up here in the right hand corner. You can check that out. But in this video, I want to specifically give a demonstration based upon the question from One Life. First, thanks for letting me know that was a great video. They say they're having problems with bleed. They have a question about inside of Canva, crop marks and bleed, checking these different boxes. Or do I create a larger file size in Canva, including bleed 8.6.25 by 8.625 and download it as is, leaving the crop marks and bleed boxes? All these questions coming up. First and foremost, the best tool that I know to use this to get all these dimensions correctly, although Amazon does give you this information, is Tangent Templates. Tangent Templates is a one-time purchase. It is a fantastic tool. They have this tool called KDP Helper. You import your trim size and your number of pages and your paper type, and it gives you all this information, inches, centimeters, pixels, and then they even break it down with templates, as well as they give you the dimensions for Canva, Affinity products, Adobe Creative Suite, Keynote, as well as PowerPoint. Again, it's all right here inside of Tangent Templates. But if you go to KDP Help, you can check this out where it says set trim size, bleeds, and margins. And of course, I covered this in the original video that I left in the cards. And when you get down to the bleed section and you scroll down and you see examples of page sizes with and without bleed, you can see here at the very bottom, 8.5 by 8.5, page size with bleed, 8.625 by 8.75. This is the size that you want to create inside of Canva. Again, back over at Tangent Templates, a great resource. You can simply see here they have laid out the measurements for the interior, 8.6.25 by 8.75 when you're dealing with an 8.5 by 8.5 book with bleed. But here's where it gets interesting, and I wanted to show you the difference here. I want to start with an 8.5 by 8.5 and create that inside of Canva. Now, when you're looking at this inside of Canva, the question came up about this show margins as well as show print bleed. Leaving these checked and then coming over and actually downloading the file as a PDF print. When you leave those checked or you uncheck them, it doesn't matter. Those only show up inside of Canva. When you download your PDF, whether you have them checked or not checked, the lines, those margins, those bleed, those dotted lines will not show up inside of your PDF. So leaving those checked or unchecked when you download these show margins or these show print bleeds has no effect whatsoever on the PDF when you download. It will download it as 8.5 by 8.5. Now back to the Amazon bookshelf and inside of the print previewer, you can see that this is a quality check that has passed. This is an 8.5 by 8.5 book, and you can see that there are no errors. And when I selected this, I selected bleed. And all that means is simply that I'm telling Amazon that I am okay with the images bleeding off the page. For example, when I put this avocado and this banana in the corner, this is going to get cut off. Exit the print previewer, go back, and you'll see that I selected bleed for the PDF for the 8.5 by 8.5. If you see, or if I go ahead and select no bleed, and then I scroll back down and I actually launch the previewer again using the same manuscript, once this finishes processing this book preview, you are actually going to see the errors. While that's processing, let's go back to Canva and let's enter the dimensions that they give us that they recommend for bleed, 8.625 by 8.75 inches. Go ahead and create a new design. And here we've created a manuscript or an interior that is going to compensate for the bleed all the way around. And we are going to grab that same Fruity Friday. And what we'll do here is we will look at this as far as margins, and we will look at this as far as bleed. You're not really going to see the difference because it's going to technically look the same on the screen. But here is the deal. We'll go ahead and we will duplicate this page, and we will do the same thing that we did a minute ago, and we will drop the banana down here, and we will drop the avocado, I believe that's an avocado, down here into the corners. And then what we'll do is we will download this and upload this as a manuscript with these new dimensions, 8.6 by 25 by 8.75, and then also see this with bleed and without bleed. So we added a total of 24 pages. We'll go ahead and we will download this as a PDF print. That will download here in the corner. And you can see there we have our untitled design, but it is the 8.625 by 8.75 inches with bleed. So back inside of the print previewer, now you can see the error. This is the original 8.5 by 8.5. Remember that I told it no bleed. So you can see that Amazon, when you actually click on the little triangle, it shows you the issue. The issue here is that the object is outside of the margins. You have not informed Amazon KDP that you're okay with the images getting cut off. This black banner here is going to get cut off. The outside edge of this is going to get cut off. You're going to lose part of your banana. You're going to lose part of your avocado. But as you saw in the original, at the beginning of this video, what I did is I told Amazon to go ahead and allow bleed, allow the images to bleed over to the edge of the page, and I'm okay with them being cut off. And again, that is 8.5 by 8.5. The only thing that's going to change is, when we're going to see in a second, is how much of your avocado or your banana get cut off. So here we are back inside of paperback content. We scroll down. It is still the same trim size, 8.5 by 8.5, even though we have adjusted our canvas or our interior inside of Canva for bleed. If we select bleed or no bleed, and we'll go ahead and we'll just say bleed so we won't see the error, and then we upload the new manuscript that we created, again, the one that we calculated for bleed, you're going to see the difference in the amount of the image that is shown because you have actually increased the size of your manuscript. Scroll down because we made that change. Go ahead and launch Previewer. It is going to save that, and then we're going to take a quick look once it has finished preparing the files. While we're waiting on that, take note that Kindle Direct Publishing, the help topics, they cover all this in great detail, where you can fix your paperback and hardcover formatting issues. They cover trim, size, and bleed, and everything that you need to know. And they walk through this step by step as far as trim, size, and bleed, as well as margins and gutters. But sometimes I agree it's hard if you don't actually see this. But the idea here, the concept is, you have an 8.5 by 8.5 no bleed inside of Canva. Here you have the 8.625 inches by 8.75 inches inside of Canva. And if you were just to switch between these two, it really is kind of hard to tell the difference. And again, Amazon doesn't care inside of the print previewer. As long as you tell them that you won't bleed or you don't want bleed, they will cut off those edges that are outside of the margins and outside of the bleed, and that is the way that your book will be presented. Here you can see the manuscript where we have selected bleed. Of course, we increase the canvas inside of Canva to allow for the bleed to give us more space, and then you can see that because I selected bleed, there are no errors in this 8.625 and 8.75 canvas that I created inside of Canva when I upload it to Amazon KDP. So it's going to be really hard to see, but if you look at the images, you'll see that slight difference because of the increase of that 0.125 for bleed. This is the manuscript or the interior that we accounted for bleed. This is the manuscript or the interior that we didn't account for bleed. Go ahead and pause here on the screen. Take a look at the avocado. Take a look at his hand, and I'll go ahead and circle the avocado, and I'll point out here. Take a look at his white hand, his glove, how much is being cut off or not shown in the bleed in this original 8.5 by 8.5 no bleed manuscript that we had inside the print previewer. Now versus, take a look at the white glove again. Again, pause and go back and forth. It's hard to see, but there is definitely more white glove because we allowed for more white glove when we increased the canvas size inside of Canva. I'll show it to you one more time. This is the 8.5 by 8.5. Focus in on the avocado. Look at the glove. Barely see the white part of the glove. Switch back to the other manuscript that we actually created in Canva where we gave it more size. We gave the additional canvas size inside of Canva. And you can see that there's more glove showing because we have more canvas to work with. Here inside of the 8.625 by 8.75, you can see, and of course, this all depends as well as the more you move him around, but you can see that he's locked into the grid there as far as being off of the screen. Here in the 8.625 by 8.75, the same if you scroll down, he's locked into that same grid right there. So it's not me moving it one way or the other, it's locked into the Canva size 8.5 by 8.5 versus 8.625 by 8.75. Again, that additional space, if you show the print bleed, it's that additional print bleed that gets cut off along with the new margin in the bigger canvas that is the 8.625, which is bigger than the 8.5. So One Life, thank you for the question. I hope this answered your question. I know it's kind of hard to follow, but really that's the only way to get to where you want to be, is to just play with these types of things and understand that the page size with bleed for an 8.5 by 8.5 from the Amazon KDP help page is 8.625 by 8.75. So you need to adjust your bleed here in this case, where you went with 8.625 by 8.625 to the recommended size here, page size with bleed, 8.625 by 8.75. So again, One Life, appreciate it. If this video was helpful, give me a thumbs up. Check out this bleed or no bleed in margins. I go into great depth here and I actually show you some books that I have published. And you can see some interesting details there of the physical books, the real books that I create for real people. And if this video was helpful, like I said, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.